CLE, we ride.
Dog pound pride in the sky.
Let's go.
Lock in, lights up, game face on. It's the Hogcast, baby, bring it on.
It's the Cleveland Hogcast Sports Show.
Yeah.
Blue collar blood, that's how we go.
Let's go.
Every city, every team, we won't smoke. If you ain't built like this, you might choke. It's the Cleveland Hogcast Sports Show.
Say what?
Hard hits, hot takes, let it roll.
Let it roll.
From the first whistle to the last blow. Cleveland Hogcast, welcome to the show. Hey!
Welcome back, my fellow Cleveland sports fans. How are you? Welcome to another edition of the Cleveland Hogcast Sports Show. I'm Dr. Hogwash, and I'm here to talk Cleveland Browns today, specifically what's got fans buzzing right now in the heart of Ohio, the heart of Cleveland, heart of the land, which is Deshaun Watson. And as the title suggests, in this fairly short video, I'm going to make the case for Deshaun Watson because, again, if you watched the last video, I made the point that he is on the payroll and you're paying him. It'd be a shame to leave him on the bench and throw all that money away. I mean, at least see if he's a different guy now. See if he's reformed himself, or at least let him compete. One of the things that I mentioned last video as well was that I think the AFC North is pretty wide open, and even with just a little bit of change, with the offense, even if the offense was just a little bit better than it was last year, even if it got them 3 or 4 extra games, maybe 5 games, whatever, it's not crazy to think that they could be a 9-win team, a 10-win team. I mean, look at how close a lot of the games were. If they had some offense, I mean, and if again, this is an assumption that the defense is going to play as well as it did last year. So, it's a pretty big assumption, but if you keep the same scheme and a lot of the same players and the same focus, same mentality, I mean, these guys have been in that system and they know the grind, they know the plays. Who's to say? I mean, who am I to say anyway? So if you look at the AFC North, there's a lot of change. The only team that isn't changing as far as coaching and that kind of stuff is Cincinnati. And Cincinnati is one of those X factors every year. You don't know which Cincinnati team is going to show up. I mean, kind of like any team, but they're a beatable team. Pittsburgh, new coach. You've got a 75-year-old quarterback. Who knows if they're going to keep him? And so every team is kind of in a rebuilding phase or has a little upheaval. Besides the Steelers, the Ravens, new coach, probably going to have some new schemes, new players. Who knows what's going to happen with them? So it kind of, to me, in my head, it kind of levels the playing field a little bit. So you can take some of these teams like the Browns and really focus on making the offense better and keeping the defense the same. I mean, they've got a real shot, and this is just my opinion. This is, I'm not an expert or anything, but I'm the eternal optimist. I'm one of those few people that's always looking forward to the next Brown season, even if it's, coming off a disappointing previous season. I got to believe that as much as I, have some heartache about the ownership and that kind of stuff and some of the decisions that the front office makes, I have to believe that, Haslam and that whole group, it's a business. They've got a lot of money invested in this, and making more money equates to wins. So if you're winning, you're going to be, that's the goal, because you're going to be a successful franchise. You're going to be a successful business if you're winning. So I have a hard time believing that somebody would purposely sabotage their team to wait for a draft pick or whatever. I mean, unless you just have so much money, it doesn't matter to you, and you can do stuff like that. But I'm not of that opinion, and I gotta believe that coaches want to look good. They want their players to look good, and in turn makes them look good. So it's in everybody's best interest to win games and to be the best, put the best possible product on the field. So with that being said, AFC North to me is wide open, and the Browns have a legit shot to look like a decent team this year. So, and as I stated, today we're going to dive into the hot topic, about Deshaun Watson and making the case for him. I do believe that, well, I'll get into making the case and we'll talk a little more at the end. So why does Deshaun Watson deserve to be the starting quarterback? Well, under Todd Monken, well, let's back up a little. If you the Browns fans have been through the ringer, right? Trades, injuries, coaching changes, but with Todd Monken at the helm, this is the perfect reset for Watson to reclaim his spot as QB1. Let's take a look. Let's break it down step by step and make the case. First off, let's remember that Deshaun Watson, or who Deshaun Watson is at his core. This isn't some journeyman slinging passes. This is a guy who led the NFL. That's it, led the NFL in passing yards back in 2020 with the Texans, racking up 4,800 yards, 33 touchdowns, and just 7 picks. He's a 3-time Pro Bowler with elite arm strength, pinpoint accuracy, and the kind of mobility that turns broken plays into highlights. And I'm not saying that nobody else has that ability, but I'm just saying that he has that ability. He's shown it already. Watson's also got the dual threat magic. Think Lamar Jackson, that type of level escapability combined with a cannon for an arm. He's proven he can carry a franchise when healthy and focused. And I think part of that is the focus part. And I think under Stefanski, I'm not blaming Stefanski. I'm just saying that it seemed like no matter what quarterback that Stefanski put in there, it seemed like, I don't know if the offense was so complicated, or at least the terminology was that, because with the exception of some flashes by Dylan Gabriel and Shador and Deshaun, they all kind of got the deer in the headlights look at some point during the season whenever they were playing. And I don't know if that's on them personally or if it's on the coaching staff, it's on the system, who knows. But I just know in a lot of other teams, elite quarterbacks or that have played at an elite level and shown they can, don't look like they have deer in headlights, and some of that could be getting bashed and beat up all the time, behind an offensive line that's older and a lot of injuries, and you have elite, pass rushers, people that literally just pancake the offensive lineman or push them back, collapse the pocket very quickly, and forces the quarterback to react a lot quicker, maybe a lot quicker than they're used to, or because they say when they get to the NFL, the game speeds up. Well, then you speed it up some more if you have not so good of players in front of you, or not a decent line or whatever. So I'm also of the school that offensive linemen and tackles are not a guarantee in the draft. I think that's one of those positions that if you have a really good coach, that could be coached into a player. To be a serviceable or a good or a great offensive lineman, some of it has to come from inside as well. But I think that's one of those positions that can be, you can get somebody in the late first round or early second round or whatever, and he could be a good offensive tackle or guard in the NFL with good coaching. And there are good coaches out there that, bring out the talent in a player and make them better. I mean, look at the Patriots and other teams that, have all these people. It's like you've never heard of them before until you play them, and they're great players. They become great players because of the coaching. So I think, if you get a good line in front of Deshaun Watson or whoever the quarterback is, whoever ends up winning, get a good offensive line coach. And I don't know. Because you can blow a number 6 pick on an offensive lineman and then be a total bust. And same with the receiver or anybody else. It's all a crapshoot. So there's a lot of pieces in the offense that need to be addressed. And I just think that if you have the opportunity to get somebody that's demonstrated, like the Miami lineman, offensive lineman, I can't think of his name, Waga, whatever his name is. Watching his tape, it's pretty incredible. I mean, he, especially against Ohio State, against elite level pass rushers, just held his own. So to me, getting a big guy, a lot of beef, a lot of beef. I don't care how good of a pass rusher you are. If you're trying to move a lot of beef, especially somebody that's got good technique and has a good coach that's taught him good technique, hard to get past that dude. So, doesn't necessarily have to be at number 6, but just pick some big guys. Big guys are also less prone to get hurt, I would think. That seems logical. I don't know. Anyway, I digress. So back to Deshaun. I know what you're thinking. Oops. Yeah, keep hitting stuff. What about the last few years? The suspension, the injuries, the underwhelming play, all fair points. Watson served an 11-game suspension in 2022, then dealt with the shoulder issues in 2023. Another injury in 2024 that sidelined him with an Achilles tear, and even a setback in rehab. His stats in Cleveland haven't matched his Houston highs, but it's something like 14 touchdowns to 9 picks in limited action over the past couple seasons. But context matters. The Browns offense has been a mess. We can admit to that. Inconsistent lines, receiver drops. Don't even get me started with receiver drops. We could probably do a whole show just on receiver drops. And schemes that didn't always play to his strengths, and we just talked about that. Plus, and we'll talk about this game here in a second. Plus, coming off major time away from the game isn't easy for anyone. The key update, as of February 2026, Watson's 100%, cleared medically, back throwing with his trainer, and looking sharp. He's hungry, motivated, and ready to prove the doubters wrong. So enter Todd Monken, our new head coach, just hired a couple weeks ago. I think it was January 28th. Monken's no stranger to turning offenses around. He was the architect behind the Ravens' explosive attack that, helped Lamar Jackson win MVP honors. His style, flexible, adaptive, and all about scoring points by any means necessary. Monken doesn't lock into one rigid system, and that's what we need, in my opinion. He molds the system to his players, to their strengths. He loves quarterbacks, and that's what I love about Todd Monken. He loves quarterbacks, especially quarterbacks that can extend plays, make off script throws, and keep defenses guessing with a mix of deep shots, play action, and designated runs. Sound familiar? That's Watson's wheelhouse. Monken himself said he's intrigued, I'll use air quotes, he's intrigued by Watson and excited to work with him. This isn't just lip service. The Browns are financially tied to Watson, as we talked about, through 2026 with that massive guaranteed contract. Cutting or trading him now would, hammer the cap with over $129 million in dead money. They're invested literally and figuratively. So, again, I'm going to guess that with all that money being spent on him, he's in the building. Let him compete. Compare that to other options other options in the QB room. Dylan Gabriel, for example, who stepped up in 2025 and did a solid job. He stabilized things, but he's more of a game manager, efficient, but not the game changer Watson can be. Shedeur Sanders, use your words, John. Shedeur Sanders, showed flashes in the year after getting more reps, improving his decision-making and poise, but he's still raw. A young guy learning the ropes, neither has, let me back up here. So yeah, I just keep that in mind. He's learning the ropes. You got to give the guy props. I mean, he has flashed, but he's still learning the ropes. He's very raw. He's still really young. And neither has Watson's resume or upside in a high-octane scheme like Monken's. Starting Watson gives the Browns the best shot, to me, at immediate contention, especially with a defense that's staying aggressive under whatever defensive coordinator Monken ends up picking. Pair Watson with the young weapons we've already got, like Jerry Jeudy, and that, again, goes back to the ball drops or pass drops, that kind of stuff. So, again, Judy's a good receiver, just if he's holding on to the ball. You got emerging guys like Cedric Tillman, Elijah Moore, the remnants of Elijah Moore, whatever. I don't know how that name came up, but anyway. Like Isaiah Bond. I guess that's who I was trying to think of, not Elijah Moore. Isaiah Bond, the little speedster. You have the possibility of free agency, but for sure in the draft, you could potentially take at least two receivers, one early, one later, and for the love of God, get some big guys that can win contested catches. I mean, especially if you have a quarterback that might be struggling a little bit, as long as he gets the ball over in that area of that receiver and that receiver can win most of those battles. I mean, it's great to have a speedster slot receiver, but man, the guys on the outside, we need some prototypical big bodies out there that can run good routes and know the game of football. Let's see. So I guess what I'm trying to say is the receiver core is in the process of being rebuilt, hopefully. But Monken's track record shows he can maximize what's there and scheme guys open. So I'm pretty confident that whoever we end up getting or have in the room by the time off-season workouts start and that kind of stuff, he's shown that he can maximize the potential of the guys that are already there. So I'm looking forward to that. So bottom line, the Browns swung big on Watson in 2022, and it's time to let him finish the story. Under Monken's guidance, with a fresh offensive approach tailored to his talents, Watson can rediscover that elite form and lead us back to the playoffs, hopefully. It's not just about nostalgia, it's smart football. And if we bench him for unproven talent, we're wasting a prime opportunity. And, it is what it is. I'd say give the guy a shot. What do you think? Throw it in the comments. But I am optimistic. I really am looking forward to this season. And living in Berea, which is a plus, I can go to the practices and, we're literally like a mile from the facility. So it's a perk living here, especially if you're a Browns fan. It's especially when OTA start and open practices for the public start. It's pretty cool. So let me know what you guys think. Again, not an expert, just throwing it out there and making the case for Deshaun Watson. Maybe next video I'll make the case for Shador or somebody else. But right now, you're paying the guy a lot of money. Why not give him a shot and see if he's changed, see if he's got back to his old form. So anyway, hope you guys have a wonderful day. And until next time, Dr. Hogwash out.
Cleveland in the building, you know how we roll. From the first hot take to the final goal. From the dog pound roar to the hardwood floor. We break it all down, then we come back for more, yeah. This the Cleveland Hogcast Sports Show, we locked in. Talking every dub, every loss, every top win. You ran with the squad, now it's time that we go. Thanks for watching, that's the Cleveland Hogcast Sports Show. Hey, hey.